Another head gasket. But the expensive bit. Ooh. Ah.
Very nice.
Oh.
Very nice. I like ARP. So we picked up a new long block for Alex's car that was supposedly running, and it's not running because it's leaking through about half the valves on about half the cylinders. So our new running motor is not a running motor. So we are going to take the head off the old motor, the new head off the old motor, and put it on this motor, and then we should have one running motor out of two motors. Project has snowballed into a nightmare. Yeah, good time.
Help.
So first order of business is to get the new head off and clean the block and pistons. So we're gonna start working on that, and then the new head's gonna go on. Alex gets to do exhaust manifold stuff.
Oh, again, yay!
Twice. Yeah,
yay.
Coming off, and then the same thing putting them back on.
Yay!
So, yeah,
my
good times.
Favorite.
Brought my zippy boy home from work. The exhaust valves were still leaking.
That's
so
fair.
Our new motor is off time, so that's very promising. So that's actually a first, I think I've seen. Yeah, bro, I don't know what to tell you. Thing was running mint when we had it in my car. Jesus, that came off way too easy. Whose mans is working on these Vanos units? Running.
Should not.
Running motor.
Should not have.
Come on, bro. You're gonna tell me that this thing runs. First of all. Okay. No, it's timed right. They just had it in the complete wrong orientation. Right there, we're on time. Okay, so they just had it clocked incorrectly, which made it wrong. On a serious note, if you guys need help, especially with like timing Vanos, please ask. Ask me, ask Powen, ask any of the other Beamer YouTube channels that do DIYs and do Vanos, because stuff like this is not acceptable, especially when you're selling a running motor. Having it off time is totally not cool. Leaking valves is not cool also, but this thing, if it ran at all, it probably ran like absolute crap. That's probably the reason that they sold it, is because it just never ran right, because the timing was off.
I doubt they could ever get it to run, is
like,
the thing.
That's not cool. Especially, you know, if you're doing Vanos, one of the last things you do is double check it, and obviously they didn't do that because the timing is completely off. You know, it's just like, I don't know what to say. I get that Vanos is confusing and it's hard, but just ask. Like, I think I'm pretty vigilant about asking questions, especially on comments, and if you DM me on Instagram, I try to stay kind of vigilant to that stuff. Because this is not cool. Even if all the valves were leaking, it would still not run right. Is what it is, I guess. But it would have taken guy like maybe 20 minutes to reply and comment and ask questions, or at least watch the video. You know, I kind of structure these videos to explain it to people who haven't really done it before. You know, you don't have to be an ASE certified tech to do Vanos stuff. And even if you have a hard time getting it, you know, ask questions. I have walkthroughs on how to time the whole motor, how to time this from scratch, how to time the upper chain from scratch. Like, all the information is there. You just gotta ask or find it, you know? But
stop it.
Stop. Get some help.
Ow. That guy.
It's ready. Head gasket's not blown, which is a good sign. A lot of carbon buildup. Good news is, the block looks amazing, and the piston's cleaned up super nice. The bad news is, this this timing guide here is not one piece anymore. It's 2 pieces. Yep, that's the halfway up the timing guide. So that's busted, which means the timing cover's got to come off, which at this point isn't really that big of a deal. More of an annoyance than anything. I do have a couple of these floating around. Further down the rabbit hole we go. There we go. And there we have it. Our broken timing guide. There we go. So I've been contemplating doing full motor assemblies just using FitBig because this shit works just so freaking well. It's ridiculous. It's FitBig, so it's a Toyota gasket maker. This is what they use on literally all their engines exclusively. So like Toyota timing covers, some valve covers, oil pan gaskets are all FitBig, and it works freaking great. It's like the best RTV you can buy with money. One little dowel. We let it dry for a little bit over half an hour, then I torqued the timing cover completely down, got the front crank pulley back on. I just put some fresh sauce right there on the timing cover, and we're about ready to make this happen. 3rd time's the charm. Why is that? Oh, I guess it's sticky. See, I don't even have to tell you what to do, you just know.
Yeah, I figure how many times I've done this already.
I love these little bristle brushes. Freaking use them for everything. Super nice. Alright, we're on. A little pop. Whoop. So these are your headbolt washers. This is your sticker and other stuff. This is our sauce. These are our studs. And these are our nuts. Kiss your own nuts, Alex. Beautiful. So open up your sauce. Yes.
Shocking.
The side with the Allen key goes up, this side goes down. Put a little bit of sauce on the bottom. Right on the threads, not on the actual bottom. Yeah, that's
I'm
good.
just doing what you told me, my guy.
Fair enough. Spread it around. You want it kind of, it'll spread around when it goes in. So drop it down into your hole.
Ooh.
Give it a good couple of turns. Rinse and repeat for all 14. Yeah? I will be right back. Studs are all in. Moving on to washers.
The car lifesavers.
So I'll take one, and then you squeeze a little gob in the nut. So yeah, I'd put them all down. Just pick one up at a time. Put a little gob in there. Perfect. And then stick her on. So you see the torque sequence?
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I ran them down almost until they were going to touch, so none of them have even touched the washers yet. So snug them in this pattern. There she is. All 14. So we just did like a mock leak down test, except this gauge is broken because this is a Harbor Freight tester and it's garbage. So that gauge like didn't move at all. Oh, it's at 80%. So right now it's higher than it has ever been this whole time we've been using it. But with it plugged in, there's no audible air leaks, and I like when I put the piston at bottom dead center, I cannot bring it back up. It just swings the motor back around on all cylinders, which is a very, very good sign. Super hyped. It's about time we had a win with this car. So we're going to put cams in. We're actually going to put the cams from the Cheeto, the original cams from the Cheeto in. So we know those cams and lifters are mint. So putting the lifters on the Cheeto, it took me 2 attempts to put the exhaust on, and 6 attempts to put the intake on. So let's see if I can do it. First try, there's a hole there.
Just stepped on that.
First try across the board.
Fuck yeah.
Danny would be proud.
Now I see what you mean by doing the head bolts.
Yeah, so those washers and the bolts don't fit through the cam tray. So if you're doing ARP, take your cams and trays off. What we had to do to get it on the Cheeto, it took us like 2 hours to do it, just to put the hardware on. We had to get them on a magnet, feed it in, and then put a pick in and rotate it, and then drop it on the stuff.
Oh man.
Horrible. It was the worst.
That sounds like fun. I hope it's Danny's.
I'm pretty sure it's, I don't know if it is. It's probably Danny's because he got shorter hair than I do. Those are pretty short hair. Ow! Oh, I hit my freaking ankle on the AC condenser. That was such a clean shot too. So cams are on. This is on. Vanos stuff is happening. Alex is doing exhaust manifold stuff, which is a good time. Don't forget your gaskets. And we're just gonna kind of make moves and make things happen. Ooh, baby. Vanos is on. We're tensioned. We're tight. Pull the cam locks off. Check timing. And Alex has gotten half a manifold on. Oh, baby. A triple. Alright, so we're in time. That's good news. Alright, so somehow Alex managed to get the other manifold on.
I'm so happy.
I don't know what the F was going on with that, but it wasn't working. I'm starting to do some electronic stuff. So I got the new, well not a new, but a better cam position in. Better than the one that was in it. I got the crank position on. Vanos is obviously on. Now I gotta go do some plumbing stuff. We gotta swap out the knock sensors for our new ones. The starter is already plumbed. And just general plumbing of wires and stuff. So I gotta get the harness all buckled down again and start plugging. We're probably gonna go for first start without like the belt system on, but I'm gonna plug in the alternator at least to have it wired so that we won't have fuel stuff everywhere. I'll probably put everything back together, why not? So I don't know, we're just gonna start making moves and see where we get.
I'm so happy I got that fucking exhaust manifold on.
Yeah, otherwise we're gonna have to pull out the engine crane and lift it up by here. That was the main reason I was getting the thermostat on, so we could lift it up to get that mount arm off. We don't have to anymore, which is amazing because that was gonna take like another hour and a half ordeal. Nut and bolt, baby. So I'm working on the alternator now. Get that plumbed. And then I guess we'll start doing intake manifold stuff. I kind of wanted to rig the manifold up without any of the coolant lines in, because this thing is like kind of broken off and I gotta find another one for it. So we'll worry about coolant stuff later, but if we can get it fired up and running, it'll take me like 20 minutes to pull the intake manifold back off. And that way we can know if it runs or not, because the water pump's not on, the power steering pulley's not on. I'm wiring the alternator just because it's wiring, so we don't have loose shit everywhere. But if it can run for 10, 15, 20 seconds, it doesn't need any of that stuff. And we can see it run, yeah?
Yeah.
And for those wondering, I did snake the cam splash guard under there, so I don't want to see that in the comments. 2. So it doesn't disappear forever. Alright, Alex is dropping plugs in. I'm dropping the fuel rail on. Something is disagreeing. Oh, no, I just really liked it. Alright, so I got my hack intake manifold set up on. This is not permanent because none of the cooling stuff is in. We got a couple of vacuum lines for the PCV blocked off. This one's blocked off by a lug nut. This one's blocked off by an exhaust manifold stud, just so we don't have any exhaust or vacuum leaks. So it should run for a little bit. I need to add a quart of oil because it's a little bit low on oil. Alex got the plugs in, which are down there, and he's putting coil packs on now. We're going to try and put the original DME that's on the back of the bucket right now that came with this car in it. I don't know if it works. We've tried to use it before and it just hasn't worked yet so far, so I don't know if it's bricked or not. It does work with the 413. We know it works because it spun over, it fired up, and it ran like dog prior to us replacing the engine. So with that setup, it works. We're tight, we're tight.
No matter. Yeah?
Yep. Prime until the oil pressure light goes off. This is the time, bro. 7:46. That's a good 9 hours of work. 9 hours from bad head on to bad head off, timing cover off. Redo the timing chains. Yeah, just crank it till the oil pressure light goes off. Don't push on the clutch. Okay. Ooh, that hella promising. Jabroni. All right, sender. I've learned that M50 B25s need a little bit of kissing, some starting fluid. All right, hold the throttle wide open. All right, close it. Start it. Alright, so we got the 413 from the Cheeto in. Give her the rip, bro. Or I might not like the tune because it's running super rich.
Yeah, I can fucking smell that shit gnarly.
Keep going again. I'm gonna try and get it to hold idle. I don't think it likes the tune.
Yeah, definitely not.
Alright, so we still got some things going on. I think it might be the S52 cam tune, it might be the coils, it might be the mass airflow, so we're going to swap the coils and the MAF off the Cheeto tomorrow, see if that makes it run a little bit better, but I kind of think it's the tune, because it's meant for M3 cams and you can smell how freaking rich it's running. It's got new plugs in it, I don't know about the coils though, so I'm super hyped on that though.
Yeah, we're definitely a big step forward from
Yeah.
where we were. And just order a bunch of shit and slap it together.
It's coming alive, bro. Hell yeah. We
Look,
got,
half of the shit of this motor looks fucking brand spanking new too now.
I know, right? We got a lot of cleaning up to do, and we got to put the whole front end back on. So I'll see you guys later.
We are dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust. Search but you stay lost.